Hey everyone, this is Kevin the Entrepreneur, and let's talk about the Uber and Google lawsuit again because this has been one of the most perplexing things that has happened in recent memory. Like, we had a billion-dollar lawsuit, a multi-billion-dollar lawsuit that was playing out right before our eyes. It was hyped up. We were waiting for a settlement. It never came. The trial started. Some really damning information was revealed, and then 4 days into the trial, they settled for peanuts. $245 million is nothing. Of course, Google also got a slight minor stake in Uber, and that might play out well for them in the long run. But why would they settle? Like, was their case seemed pretty darn strong? Well, the answer might have been right in front of us the whole time, and maybe this was a case that it just got to trial too late, and by the time it got there, Google had bigger problems to worry about. According to this article by the New York Times, after settling with Uber, Waymo faces bigger challenges. Nearly a year after accusing Uber of stealing its driverless car technology, Waymo agreed on Friday to settle a closely watched lawsuit filed against the ride-hailing company. Now, for Waymo, which grew out of Google's seminal autonomous vehicle project and is nearly a decade into an effort that aims to change the very nature of transportation, a much bigger fight looms outside the courtroom. Waymo's competition extends well beyond Uber, and a good part of that competition is directed by engineers it used to employ. And this is important. Much of the artificial intelligence technology that has come out of Waymo's work and from research run by Google's parent company, Alphabet, is now available from other sources, making it easier for companies, even startups, to compete. Quote, Waymo may have a technical advantage, said Jason Doran, who helped run the delivery service Sidecar and joined General Motors when the car maker acquired the startup. But they have to figure out a business model. And Jason is someone who would, and sorry, Katie, I will call you back later. I'm not going to edit that out. Jason is someone who would definitely know about having to figure out a business model, because Sidecar, as you may remember, was the Uber and Lyft competitor that didn't quite make it, and they just could not compete. Largely because Uber did slash the price to the point where they couldn't compete, but with self-driving cars, you can't just forever lose money. It's not uncommon for a tech pioneer to miss out on becoming the company that cashes in on the technology it has been working on. The industry is littered with stories of people with a great idea that someone else turned into a great business. The concept for the database is used by most of the world's big corporations came out of IBM, but another company, Oracle, turned that software into big business. Researchers at Silicon Valley lab of Xerox famously pioneered the technology that went into many of Apple's computers. That's the desktop interface, and by the way, that's the desktop interface is what helped make Windows a big success. And as you can see, this is Chris Ursman, a longtime Waymo engineer, and he is the chief executive of a startup called Aurora in Palo Alto, California. And it says here, Aurora is typical of many of the companies competing with Waymo that are relying on the brainpower of its former employees. And that actually might be the bigger reason on why Waymo decided to settle. Waymo might have had two major issues. One, competition is a lot more fierce. It's popping up more and more, and it's out there. Not only that, a lot of them are being headed by former Waymo employees. Now, I do believe that Anthony Levandowski was a lot more egregious when he came to using Google's patents. I believe he did steal those ideas. It wasn't proved, so therefore he has to be innocent. I have to acknowledge he is innocent because they never proved anything. But the case was pretty strong. But the fact is, if there are more companies using Waymo engineers, Google, A, can't sue them all, and B, that might suggest that maybe the idea itself isn't really a patent. Like, the whole idea of a laser scanning the area for information, that's actually not exclusive to Google. It never was. And while the technology in the auto devices might have been very, very similar, with more and more companies coming out that didn't download documents that are very similar, maybe it could be argued that, yeah, it's really not as easy to patent as possible. And of course, now you have competition. So maybe Waymo thought that, you know what, we waited too long to get to this point. We're going to spend millions of dollars fighting this out in public. Some dirty secrets of ours will probably get leaked in the process, and there's a very good chance we'd win. What if it goes on a year and more companies pop up? Then Uber could honestly argue that, see, we're not original. We didn't steal anything. These companies are popping up and Google's not suing them. And does Google want to have the reputation of being that company that just sues startups? Because Google, despite being very Orwellian in many aspects, do like to at least present the idea that they are for freedom. They are for open markets. Their motto is, don't be evil. Even though I think it's no coincidence that there are 2 O's in the logo. Sorry, that's a bad joke. That's a very bad joke. I won't do that again. But, so, I think Google did have a lot to lose perception-wise. And yeah, with more and more companies coming out, I think they realized this was a fight that ultimately wasn't worth working on. I kind of wonder, what if this had started in August like it originally supposed to, or September, whatever it was? Would it have still been settled, or I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to put the rest of this article in the link below. As you can see, there's a lot to it there, and it's just very, very interesting. And we might even come back to this article later on, because I think there's other aspects of this that, might be worth discussing. But it's too long to discuss all at once. So consider this a part 1 to a multi-part series that is coming for the rest of the week. And in the meantime, let me move that up just so that it looks better there. What do you folks think? What do you believe are the reasons Waymo might have settled with Uber when it seemed like they had a pretty rock-solid case? Do you think it was just the competition? Do you think the laser technology really wasn't stolen? I would love to know. Comment below, like, favorite, share, subscribe. If you enjoy the videos I make, consider becoming a patron member for $1 a month. And I'll see you on the Daily Rideshare, and flame responsibly. Have a good one.